University isn't always easy. And I know that from personal experience because my degree didn't take me the usual 4 or 5 years. It took me 6.5 years. 6.5 years of classes, projects, exams, sleepless night, and yes, failure. There were times when I lost classes, times when I had to repeat exams I thought I would pass. Times when I saw my friends moving ahead, graduating, starting their careers, while I was still stuck trying to fix my mistakes. And honestly, it hurt. It made me question myself. It made me wonder if I was wasting my time or if I should just give up. But here's the thing, I didn't give up. I kept showing up, class after class, semester after semester, because deep down, I knew that even if my path was longer, even if it was harder, reaching the finish line was still possible. And that's what I want to talk about today. If you've ever felt tired, unmotivated, or close to quitting your studies, this video is for you, because I want to share how I kept going until the very end, and how you can too. Let's be real for a moment. Studying is hard. It's not just sitting with a book and magically learning. It's deadlines that never stop coming. It's exams that feel like they decide your whole future. It's early morning when you'd rather stay in bed, or late night when you are so tired but still pushing to finish your last assignment. And sometimes it's failure, and failure hits harder than anyone expects. Because when you fail, it's not just about a grade on paper. It feels personal. It feels like proof that maybe you are not good enough. I remember walking into a classroom, looking around and realizing that my friends were moving ahead, passing their classes while I was stuck retaking one. And the thought that came to me was, am I even smart enough for this? Do I really belong here? Is all of this even worth it? And I know a lot of you felt that too. You're not lazy, you're not weak, you're human. Motivation disappears the moment failure enters the room. That's just reality. But here is something I learned. Losing the time isn't the same as losing the goal. Yes, I took longer. I failed sometimes. But I realized something very powerful. Time is going to pass anyway, whether you quit or whether you keep going. The clock doesn't stop. The difference is what you choose to do with it. And that's why I decided, no matter how many times I stumbled, I would keep walking, slowly, sometimes painfully, but always forward, because the only thing that truly matters is whether you finish the journey you started. So why do we lose motivation? Why is it that we start with so much energy, but somewhere along the way it feels like everything just disappears? For me, I realize it usually comes down to three main reasons. The first one is not having a clear why. When you forget why you are studying, every exam, every assignment, every project feels meaningless. You wake up and think, why am I doing this? And the truth is, if your reason isn't strong enough, you won't last throughout the difficult seasons. I remember semesters where I was just going through the motions, and because I had lost sight of the bigger picture, the smallest obstacle felt like the end of the world. The second reason is comparison. I would look around and see my classmates graduating, posting pictures in their caps and gowns, starting jobs, while I was still retaking classes I had failed. And it made me feel like a failure, even if I was still making progress in my own way. The thing about comparison is that it blinds you. It makes you forget your own journey and only focus in someone else's. I had to remind myself again and again. Their finish line is not my finish line. Their race is not my race. And the third reason is burnout. Sometimes we just push too hard. You think the solution is to study more, sleep less, hustle every second. And for a little while it works. But eventually your body and your mind shut down. I lived through this too. There were weeks when I was running poorly on coffee and stress, and I thought that was the way to succeed. But the truth is, burnout doesn't get you to the finish line faster. It stops you before you get there. And here's what I want you to remember. All of these are normal. Everyone faces them. I went through all of them. Losing my way, comparing myself, burning out, but little by little I learned something powerful. Your path is your own. You are not late, you are not behind. As long as you are still moving forward, you are exactly where you need to be. Your race is not their race, and your finish line is yours alone. So we've talked about why motivation fades. The question now is, how do you keep moving forward even when things get tough? What I'm about to share with you are the exact strategies that helped me to survive 6.5 years of university without giving up. These aren't just theories, they are tools I use day after day to stay in the game. And if you put them into practice, you won't just survive your studies, you'll finish stronger than you ever thought possible. Let's get into the keys to stay motivated. Break goals into small steps. I'll be honest, when I look at the semesters, I felt crushed. I thought, there is no way. But then I changed my perspective. Instead of thinking about the complete career, I thought, just pass this exam, just finish this assignment, just survive this week. And little by little, those tiny wins added up. The semesters passed, the credits increased, and before I knew it, I was closer than I thought. Think about it like climbing a mountain. If you stare at the top, it feels impossible. But if you just focus on the next step in front of you, step by step, you'll get there. Break your big goal into daily or weekly actions, because small goals are always achievable. And together they build something huge. Build systems, not just motivation. Here is the truth. Motivation is temporary. You can watch a motivational video, get pumped up for an hour, but the feeling fades. What doesn't fade are systems, habits, routines, and strategies that carry you even when you don't feel like working. For me, one of the most powerful systems was using my commute. Every day on the bus, I turned that lost time into study time. I would read, review notes, or listen to recorded lectures instead of just scrolling on my phone. By making study part of my daily routine, even in places like public transport, it stopped being about waiting for motivation. It became automatic, like brushing my teeth, and little by little those extra minutes added up to hours of progress. Celebrate progress. When I finally passed a class I failed before, I celebrated, not with something huge, but with something simple. A meal, a walk, or just telling myself you did it. Why? Because celebration is fuel. It reminds you that your effort matters, that progress is happening, even if it feels slow. Too often we wait to the big moment, the diploma, the graduation to celebrate. But if you celebrate the small victories along the way, you create momentum that carries you to the big one. Surround yourself with support. I also realized something important. You don't have to do this alone. There were moments when I wanted to give up, but a word from a friend, a push from a mentor, or even studying in a group made all the difference. Support doesn't always mean someone fixing your problems. Sometimes it's just knowing you are not the only one struggling. And in university, that's powerful because we all go through it. Surround with people who lift you up when you can't lift yourself. And the last one is visualize the finish line. Close your eyes and see yourself crossing the finish line. Imagine the smile, the relief, the pride. Hold on that image because it's closer than you think. 6.5 years, that's how long it took me. And let me tell you something, when I finally finished, nobody cared how long it took. The diploma doesn't say 6.5 years. It just says I made it, and that's what matters. Not how fast you finish, but that you finish. Because success isn't about the speed, it's about perseverance. If you are in the middle of a struggle right now, don't give up. Even if it takes longer, even if it feels unfair, keep going. Your future self will look back and say, thank you for not quitting. So remember this, motivation will rise and fall, but discipline, small steps, and a strong why will carry you to the end. Your journey may not look like anyone else's, and that's okay. What matters is that you cross the finish line. If I could do it in 6.5 years with all my failures and delays, then so can you. Keep going, don't quiet. Your future is waiting, and it's brighter than you can imagine. And if you've ever felt stuck, Here is one final piece of advice. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Just give yourself 5 minutes. That's it. Because often the hardest part is simply beginning. And once you start, momentum takes over. In fact, I made a whole video on this idea, the 5-minute rule, where I break down how this tiny habit can completely change the way you study and stay consistent. So if you are ready to take the next step, go check it out.